evening and welcome to April 26, 1941. I'm Henry Chop, your host. And I will tell you what we're going to listen to in just a little bit. If you enjoy the content on this channel, not only subscribe, but please donate to its upkeep. Because of the vintage old-time radio, films, and music that we feature, this channel does not qualify for YouTube monetization. Help motivate us to keep posting this wonderful content and seeking out more. We'd like to think that this channel is more interesting than any other nostalgia channel of a similar type. Help us keep going by donating. In the description section of this video, you will find a secure link to PayPal. Any little bit helps. Thank you for your support. Another link in the description section is a link to GoFundMe. It was expressed to me that some of you might be uncomfortable using PayPal, so I put a GoFundMe link in there as well. It has a lofty goal on it. I really don't expect to make that goal. I just put it there so the link will stay active longer if that's the way it works. I'm not sure how GoFundMe works. So if you're watching this 5 years from now, it might not be a good link anymore. Anyway, I want to thank Brian for his generous donation to the channel. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. I could not find any movies tonight to share with you, so I put together something else. On my old channel before it got hacked, one of the more popular sets of videos were the Christmas Year by Years. Now, I put the first one up, Christmas in the 1930s. We are going to continue that tonight with another 12-hour marathon of Christmas programs. These are going to cover the years 1940 to 1944, so Christmas in wartime during World War II. So stay tuned for that and watch that premiere. Some of you may have heard a couple of the programs from the old channel, actually relatively recently since it starts in 1940, and it'll also give you stuff to look forward to in the upcoming years on this channel. All right, let me tell you what we are going to listen to tonight. Well, we have the usual stuff, I guess. Nothing changes all that much on a Saturday night, at least not in this point in time. We are going to have Jungle Jim, Front Page Drama, and Edgar A guest, our usual Saturday fare, along with the Your Hit Parade Jukebox. The Front Page Drama episode is Mountain Mother. And we have another Your Hit Parade Jukebox. This one is really interesting as well. There was a lot of chart movement on this one. I get kind of bored with them when the charts are pretty stagnant, but this week they are moving as well. So take a listen, see how your favorite song did, and see if you can guess which song is the number one song this week. I think you'll have an easy guess on this. So, another game I play with the Your Hit Parade Jukebox. During the next week, I want you to listen for some of these songs within the radio programs that we hear. Either a singer singing them, such as Dennis Day, or a song being used as background, such as Wise Old Owl has been used on the Fred Allen program. Listen for the songs within the radio programs, and it'll give you an idea of how popular music is doing and songs that you might hear on the Your Hit Parade Jukebox next week. All right, now I see the tubes are warming up on this old tube radio. That's our time machine. Let's give this stuff a listen.
Presenting The Adventures of Jungle Jim. The Adventures of Jungle Jim, broadcast weekly over this station, are dramatized from the full-color action pictures to be found in the Comic Weekly, the world's greatest comic supplement that comes to you each week with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. Join the 11 million adults and the 6 million youngsters who enjoy the world's greatest comic and adventure pictures by the world's best artists, featured in every issue of the Comic Weekly, which comes to you with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. With Canal Zone guards closing in from all sides, Doc Beard, alias J7, in a frenzy of excitement, plans to launch the huge torpedo at once with helpless Jungle Jim as a passenger. Just as Beard is about to follow Jim aboard, he is knocked off the launching platform. And Jim, even though his hands are bound behind him, manages to kick loose the blocks holding the engine of destruction. And the torpedo glides down the incline to harmlessly explode on the bottom of Gatton Lake. As he turns, murmuring a silent prayer, Beard levels his gun and shoots Jim in the back.
Your foolish interference has finally done me some harm, but it will do you no good. It makes no difference to me how you die. I should have finished you off long before now, Bradley. I should have known your breed is dangerous till the last. But this is the last anyone will ever hear of Jungle Jim. One bullet through that thick skull of yours, Bradley. You can hear me, can't you, Jungle Jim? One little shot and then...
Kohler, you got him, Ed. How? Boy, I never did see such shooting. Drilled him as clean as a bullseye on a target.
Tuan Jim, speak to Kolo.
Is he hurt bad?
You help me turn him easy.
Here, yes.
Tuan Jim.
Easy does it. There. Now.
Tuan Jim.
Kolo.
Yeah?
Oh, my back.
Quick, give Kolo your knife now. That be bad wound. Near backbone.
We gotta do something pronto. Here's my first aid kit.
Quick.
I'll fix it, Kohler.
Kolo.
Yeah, we'll dress this up in a jiffy, sir. Just rest as easy as you can, sir. You'll be at base hospital in no time.
Kolo, help.
Hey, you Collins. Give me the iodine capsules out of your bandage kit.
Quick.
And hustle back to the patrol boat for a stretcher. Get going, soldier.
Kolo.
Here you are, Dave.
Kolo, water.
Oh, it's in my canteen, Kolo.
Water.
Here. Tuan Jim, drink easy. Slow.
Thanks, Kolo. Is Kitty all right?
Yes, everybody be all right, Tuan.
The canal, is it safe?
Don't talk, Tuan. You rest.
All right, Kolo.
I don't guess we have to bother with Doc Beard no more, Kolo. Why, his goose is cooked.
He be very bad man, Tuan.
He don't look it now. With them silly chin whiskers, he looks like a nanny goat asleep. But I guess he was a snake, all right.
He worse than snake. Snake fight you to face, not bite you in back like he shoot Jungle Jim.
He was getting ready to shoot him again while he was still on the ground.
Kolu, thank you for letting him kill Doc Beard.
Oh, don't thank me. We ain't got a man in the outfit. Why, even the sharpshooters who could have made that shot, and so fast, too. Don't you even aim?
Have to shoot fast. He was killed, Tuan Jim.
Well, I don't want you ever taking a pot shot at me.
No, Kolu, only shoot at people like J7.
We've taken 3 prisoners, Dave.
Good man.
One of them has a broken leg. Must have gotten in the way of that torpedo when it was going down the runway. Why, what an explosion. Must have been a ton of TNT.
Well, herd them guys over there in a corner and make sure they're tied up tight. I sent Collins back for a stretcher.
There's a stretcher in the shop closet.
Where?
Right over here.
Well, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and get it. Quicker we can get him back to the base, the happier I'll be.
I think he hurt bad. That be only time Jim stay lying down.
Nah, he ain't hurt so bad. Our doc can fix him up.
Here you are, Dave.
Here. All right. Lay it right down here.
Yeah.
Now, you, Collins, you with the head. Here, Jack, the feet, and I'll take the middle. All right, let's get him on it.
Come on.
There we are.
Easy. There you are. Now then, fellas, all together. Up. And stay in step.
Tuan Jim, you be all right now.
Yeah. Thanks, Kolo. Thanks for everything.
Sergeant Don Huff and Kitty St. John are waiting at the dock of Beard's plantation. And just as Colonel Barrett's fast motorboat approaches the landing, a terrific explosion rocks the earth, throws a geyser of water up from the bottom of Gatton Lake, which creates a series of waves which almost upset the small patrol boat.
There's your line. Don't try to land yet.
All right, here she comes.
I'll tie you up to this tree. Reverse your motor. Don't try to land till these waves subside.
All right. Tie it up fast.
That explosion must have been from the torpedo Jim told us about.
Nothing else. Sounded like a whole ammunition dump going up at once.
Why, the water rose a quarter mile from the surface of the lake.
You got it fast?
Yep, tight as a drum.
I hope it holds.
Will they be all right now, Don? Those waves almost upset them.
Sure. Those patrol boats are designed to take any kind of weather. This would make them cease-if you'd last long enough, but that's all.
Well, that's better.
One explosion couldn't create waves that could last all day.
Why that first one didn't sink them, I'll never know.
Oh, there! All that line! Think we can tie up now?
Okay. Come on!
Hello, Miss St. John.
Oh, Colonel Barrett, I'm so glad to see you. Why, it's years. Well, it even seems longer since we left your headquarters.
It's really only a few weeks, Kitty. Any word from Jim yet?
Only that explosion. I'm sure he set it off. That's Jim's answer to Beard's trick.
And a very good answer, too. Just exploded harmlessly at the bottom of Gatton Lake. Well, they'll never use that one against the canal.
I have a feeling it's not over yet, Colonel Barrett.
Oh?
Something tells me that even though Jim succeeded in getting rid of Beard's invention, that all is not well. He's hurt. Or maybe he's...
Ah, now, don't be an alarmist, Kitty. Jim is too good a strategist and far too clever to come to any harm from that bunch of stupid criminals.
Well, you didn't hold such a low opinion of them when you called Jim for this assignment. And that bunch of stupid criminals, as you say, caused the death of 6 of your best men.
Oh, but, Miss St.
Oh,
John...
I'm not finished yet. If anything happens to Jim, I'll never forgive you. I'd rather the old canal be blown to bits than a hair of Jim's head be hurt.
Jim knew this job was dangerous, but he was enough of a patriot to take it on. He did it for his country.
Yes, but what good is a dead patriot?
Who said he was dead?
I don't know. But in all the excitement, I didn't think of it before. But now, I'm afraid.
Oh, I don't believe you were ever afraid of anything in your whole life.
Oh, I don't mean fear of any one thing. I mean that...
Ah, Kitty. Kitty, you're just tired, that's all. You and Jim have been through plenty, but you've done a wonderful job. One for which our government will be forever in your debt. Ah, stop worrying about Jim. I, too, have a feeling, but mine tells me that he's safe and at this very moment on his way back to you and us.
I suppose I'm foolish. Oh, forgive me, Colonel Barrett, and I'm glad the canal is safe, too, no matter what I said about it.
Why, of course, I know you are. Come, dry those eyes. They're too pretty for tears. Why, they're even prettier than the last time I saw them.
Well, I'll behave. I suppose we should get up to the house. Oh, I want you to see those papers.
Uh-huh.
I suppose we'll have to make a complete written report of this whole campaign.
Yes, that's the usual procedure.
But there are some of Beard's papers that contain information you can use at once.
So?
There's an almost complete file on about a half dozen spies who are now operating in various places of the U.S., and they should be arrested at once.
Did these people report to Beard?
Yes, every one of them. Mm-hmm. And the completeness of their report is amazing, about naval bases, airfields, and such things.
I wonder if he's relayed them to that group he's working for.
I don't think he's had time for that yet. He'd probably have to condense them and then send them out in code.
Yes. Here we are. Allow me.
Oh, thank you. This way, Colonel. In the library. Now, here are the code books. Reports and, just miscellaneous papers.
Uh-huh.
Begging your pardon, Miss St. John.
Yes?
There's... Oh, and yours too, Colonel Barrett.
At ease.
Well, there's a party coming through the tunnel, miss, and it sounds like our troops coming back.
Is Jim with them?
I don't know, miss. They're not here yet. I just heard their voices and couldn't tell much, and I came up to switch on the lights.
Come on, Colonel. I've got to find out this very instant.
Ferdinand. Oh, you stay here and keep an eye on this room.
Yes, Colonel.
Where is the tunnel, Kitty?
Right down these stairs. All the lights on?
Yes, ma'am, they are.
Oh, Colonel Barrett, you go first. I want to see him, but I couldn't bear it if he's hurt.
There you go, letting your imagination get the better of you again.
Yes, but go on.
All right, take it easy.
Where are they?
All right.
Easy does it. What did I tell you guys about keeping in step?
All right, Dave. Good work. I'll go back there, and I want that shop smashed to pieces.
Okay, Don. Consider it smashed right now. Well done, Sergeant. Who is the casualty?
It's Bradley, sir.
Oh, Jim. My Jim, I knew it. Oh, what have they done to you?
Miss St. John, he's all right. Well, that is, he's got a bullet wound, but a little thing like that never hurt no one much.
Jim.
Here, Kitty. Let them get him upstairs.
Oh, Kolu.
Yes, Missy. You no worry. Jim, last time be worse than this. Only one bullet this time.
Oh, Kolu, you're just as hard-hearted as the rest of them. Only one bullet. How many do you want him to have? A dozen?
No, Missy. Kolo not want him have any. He just feel bad. Few days, then get all better.
Who did this, Sergeant?
Doc Beard, sir. Shot him in the back after Jim released the torpedo.
And Beard, a prisoner?
No, sir. Dead. Kolu got him just as he was ready to shoot Jim again.
Kolu. Oh, thanks, Kolu. Forgive me for speaking the way I did.
You do not have to forgive Missy. Kolu do anything for Tuan Jim.
Sergeant, maybe you better radio for a doctor at once.
If I may suggest, sir, we can take him over to the base hospital as quickly as they can come over here.
Possibly you're right. Yes, arrange to transport him at once.
Well, I'm going to. If he needs a nurse, I'm it.
We'll all go.
Making the wounded Jim as comfortable as circumstances would permit, the guards sped him across the lake to the military hospital on the other side.
How do you do, Colonel Barrett? And,
hello, Doctor. Miss St. John, this is Dr. Sorensen.
How do you do, Miss St. John?
How do you do, Doctor? Is he going to be all right?
Well, Miss St. John, yes, I would,
Listen, Doctor, don't treat me like a little girl. I want to know the whole truth, and right now.
Well, my dear young lady, I don't really know what to say. We haven't made a complete examination yet. We can't jump at conclusions. Mr. Bradley is wounded. How dangerous this wound is, I'm not prepared to state at the moment.
Jim. Jim.
Jim's dangerous mission is finished. The canal is saved. J7 is dead. But Jungle Jim lies wounded, and even the Army doctor can hazard no guess as to the outcome. Don't miss the next exciting episode of The Adventures of Jungle Jim. Remember, you can follow these adventures in the full-color action pictures to be found in the Comic Weekly, the world's greatest comic supplement containing the best full-color adventure and comic pictures. Remember, no other comic supplement can give you the top names of Cartoonland, like the all-star favorites to be found in the Comic Weekly. The whole family follows the fun and frolics of Jiggs and Maggie and the Little King and the immortal Donald Duck, as well as the exciting adventures of Jungle Jim and Flash Gordon. Join the 11 million adults and the 6 million youngsters who every week find the greatest of home entertainment in the Comic Weekly, which comes to you with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. More thrilling adventures of Jungle Jim will be heard at this time next week over this station. Be sure to tune in.
Front-page dramas. The roar of the presses. Every week, these giant presses roll and keep rolling at tremendous speed, 15,000 an hour, until every last one of the 7 million copies of the American Weekly has gone through in full color. Great fiction, interesting features, factual articles, color illustrations. All these are found in every issue of the American Weekly. All these go to make up the nation's reading habit, another name for the American Weekly, which comes to you every week with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. Today, the people of Yugoslavia are very much in the news. Little is known of the wild mountain people who inhabit that part of the country, which was once the kingdom of Montenegro. Some insight into the proud, rugged character of these people is revealed in this week's front-page drama, Mountain Mother, based upon a news story to be found on the woodcut page of next Sunday's American Weekly under the title, Executed by Members of His Proud Family. In a remote, nameless village near the town of Niksit, Jelka Vilic, the proud old matriarch of a mountain family, brings her sturdy, dark-eyed daughter to be presented to another family whose son is seeking her hand in marriage.
So you look upon this match with favor, then, Jelka Vilic. The marriage contract is drawn. You will make your sign that our two families shall be united.
Yes, Peter Navovich. I shall be happy to unite our two families in honor.
What is that? Who is it? Open door!
Layodo! So, this is where I find you, old woman. I thought as much.
Going to sell my beautiful sister, your lovely daughter, to such a stupid family as this collection of diseased sheep. Leave my house. My sister will never marry an Adjovich. What say you, my friend? Will you get out? Very well. You seize the wine. I'll tear up this marriage contract. No. Come on, hands up there. Gather up the wine and we'll celebrate. Out of my way.
I have summoned you here by the ancient law of family, which places me in the chair of honor as head of the house of Village. Since your father, my husband, is dead, and Lyubo, my eldest son, is in disgrace. We are herein gathered in this, your birthplace, to sit in judgment upon Lyubo, my firstborn son, who before the cross in the face of you, his family, has committed many sins. You who are descendants of a family of Unak, great heroes who have fought for the cross and freedom these 500 years against the Turks and all oppressors. You who have not seen one black mark upon the honor of Felix in 1,000 years, but now clear this family name of the stain placed upon it.
We, your brothers, your sons, the men in union by marriage, are ready to hear those who accuse Lyubo, your firstborn.
Then I, Luna, his sister, the last of my mother's daughters, stand before you to accuse my brother. Am I not beautiful? Am I not one to be desired and married? Is not the name and honor of Village alone worth my weight in gold pieces? Yet I pine alone within the walls of this house, shunned by the young men of money and family. Not the last God-given chance escaped me when Lyubo, my brother, broke into the house of Nayodovich. He was drunk with wine. He desecrated the marriage contract, stole the wine, destroyed the furniture, fired his pistol into the air, terrorizing all those present. Must I live on alone, unwanted, because of the bad name of my brother?
You are right, sister. The once mighty name of Village has now fallen into disgrace. In the trading places, the honor of our name means less than the wooden dinar. I speak in the name of Tutic. We who are united to your family by marriage, we too are in disgrace. Do not the people point to us and sneer, there goes that Tutic. He married a sister of Lyubo Village, a thief by night, a drunken brawler by day, and a betrayer of girls all around the clock. I am his brother Radin, who worked hard in the fields, that I might save my few dinars against the day when I must find a wife. But I must work and use my money to pay his debts and make restitution for the money he steals. And above all, bear the burden of disgrace.
Enter.
Thousand pardons, Yelka Village, and to you, members of her family council. It is not that I wish to intrude upon the privacy of your council, but I bring evil news.
Speak out, old man. What evil has my son wrought now?
You do not know, He has not been here then?
No. For 3 days and nights he has been missing from my house.
Then you have not heard of the drunken brawl in the tavern at Nixie. It is the tavern keeper, old Milon. Your son beat him badly because he refused him wine. The old man died. And now the police hunt him.
He is not here. But our thanks for your trouble.
Dada, my heart goes out to you in your disgrace, Yelka Village. Your son will be hung for a murderer in the public square.
We do not ask your sympathy. Go now and leave us to our council.
Dada, I go. He will be hung in the public square.
There are 20 of you here, assembled men of village. The law of the family must decide. I place before you the black box. In it are the black and white marbles. You will select one of each as I pass the box before you. Then I will place the empty box in the center of the tape. You will each show your decision of my son's guilt by placing in the box a white marble if he is to live, a black one if he is to die. I've counted 20 black marbles. Lyubo, my firstborn, is to die. So be it. Now you among the elders, place 4 loaded pistols upon the table. There are the 4 pistols. You 4, my sons, brothers of Lyubo, take up the pistols, stand facing the door. You will be ready when I give you the command.
Well, this is indeed an honor. Not one, but the whole house of village sits up to welcome home its wandering son. And to what do I owe the honor of this company?
There has been a family council to decide the law of the family. The honorable way. The ancient way of putting aside one who has wrought disgrace upon this honored house.
I live my life. I'm responsible to no one. I make the laws I live by. I'll be judged by no man.
You have broken the laws of this family. They have first claim upon you. You have also broken the laws of the land. There is blood upon your hands. You will not answer to the laws of the court for that. You answer only to us.
Enough of this old woman's nonsense. Let me go to my bed. I need sleep.
Stand where you are. Look there upon the table.
What?
A black box. Your fate has been decided.
You? Yes. No. No, you do not wish me dead. You, my mother. You, my brothers. Why do you stand there looking at me like that? Huh? What do you hide behind your back?
Show him.
No. No. Not that you're not going to do that, Mother. Mother, hear me. I beg of you.
It is too late. Prepare to meet your maker.
You...
Prepare to die.
No,
not like a weakling or sniveling coward.
was...
If there is but one spark of man in you, prepare to die like a true son of village.
No, Mother.
Family of Yuna.
No, no. You can't do this to me, Mother. No, one of you must listen to me. No. No, no, Mother.
Ready, my sons?
No.
Do your duty.
No.
Now. With his blood, I make this cross. It is finished.
Where is he? What did you do with him? What was all that shooting for? We are the police.
I know. You've come for my son, but we have cheated you. There he is. There. Dead on the floor. I am his mother. His life belongs to me.
You will have to answer to the court for this. You, all of you. You cannot take the law into your own hands like this.
Justice has been accomplished by a law far greater, far older than the laws men make in the great halls of the city. Ours is a family law handed down to us through the ages of time, as firm and strong as the granite of these mountains. This was a duty.
Despite the protestations of the old matriarch, the police herded the family down the mountainside and took them to the town of Nixit to stand trial. 7 were convicted and sentenced to hard labor in prison. Yelka, the proud old matriarch, got 13 years, her brother 15, and the 4 sons 12 years each. When the judge sentenced them, not one single member of the family expressed regret. Old Yelka merely reiterated the law of the family and stated simply she had done her duty. There is good news for all lovers of good fiction in next Sunday's American Weekly, for you will find the opening chapters of a nationally famous author's latest novel strikingly illustrated in full color. Every member of the family will want to read Fatal Gift by Catherine Newland Burt, author of such famous novels as No Surrender, If Love I Must, and the widely read Men of Moon Mountain.
Well, if you ask me, I'd say Lucy Grange is far too good looking for her own good.
Did you ever see such a beautiful creature in all your life? Why, it's the most perfect expression of feminine beauty I've ever seen. What I wouldn't give to meet her.
How was so much beauty given to one woman?
Boy, she's breathtaking. Lucy Grange. So that's who it is, eh? Well, I've simply got to meet her.
Yes, Lucy Grange was beautiful. The flawless loveliness of her face and figure stirred the envy of women and won the awed admiration of men. But it also cast a shadow over her, a shadow that threatened to wreck her life. Lucy Granger's desperate battle for romance and happiness is graphically told by Catherine Newland Burt in Fatal Gift. Don't miss the opening chapter of this radiant romance, which begins in next Sunday's American Weekly, the magazine with the greatest circulation in the world that comes to you each week with your Hearst Sunday newspaper.
It takes a heap of living in a house to make it home, a heap of sun and shadow.
From the land of the sky, blue water.
The makers of Land O'Lakes Sweet Cream Butter present Edgar A. Guest with Eddie Howard. A bit of music, a bit of verse, a bit of common sense to make your next 15 minutes a bit brighter.
From the land of the sky, blue water.
I'd been sent out to interview him. He was an old sailor, and he was still deploring the passing of the full-rigged vessel and the coming of the liner. He was telling me the difference between the two, and years after, long after he'd gone, I thought about him and remembered what he had said. There was action in the old days when I learned to love the sea. There was beauty in the canvas which your turbines can't replace. Oh, the liner is a lady, but she's not the girl for me, for she's businesslike and snappy, and there's hardness in her face. And I like to see my woman wear a little bit of lace. There was poetry in sailing when the seas were running free. There was music in the rigging when the wind began to blow. But the liner, she is haughty, and she's not the girl for me. She walks away from humble ships who try to say hello. And I like to have my woman sort of friendly like, you know. It's all business now in sailing, as I think you will agree, with arrivals and departures just as regular as bed. Oh, the liner is a lady, but she's not the girl for me. She always shows about the same each time the log is read. And I'd rather have a woman with some nonsense in her head.
Red sails in the sunset, way out on the sea. Oh, carry my loved one home safely to me. He sailed at the dawning. All day I've been blue. Red sails in the sunset. I'm trusting in you. Swift wings you must borrow. Make straight for the shore. We marry tomorrow. And he goes sailing no more. Red sails in the sunset, way out on the sea. Oh, carry my loved one home safely to
very little that we call the best of its kind just happens. Excellence in anything is usually the result of painstaking effort and deliberate thought. Take the boys here in the studio with me. Harry Zimmerman doesn't play that organ so skillfully by chance. He may have been born with a musical talent, but he has had to exercise that talent constantly and patiently and willingly to acquire such skill. Eddie Howard was born with a beautiful voice, but without study, determination, and the willingness to be up early in the mornings and at work, you would not be hearing him today. All men who succeed are workers. So those 100,000 Land O'Lakes farmers who rise at dawn to get their sweet cream to the creameries to be churned while it is still sweet are simply doing what must be done to make the best possible butter. They are heart and soul working for Land O'Lakes' success. I like also to think that while they are on the way to the creameries, Eddie Howard is practicing that he may sing his best for you, and Harry Zimmerman, prompted by the same urge, is up and at the organ. The dentist said they wouldn't show. Nobody would know anything about it. He talked me into that thing. I thought him honest, and I believed what he said, and I submitted to his wiles. And he had those uppers of mine removed and that gold bridge built, and sent me on my way with the conviction in my mind that nobody would know or even suspect. But the next day this bit was written. The dentist tinkered day by day with wax and sticky gum. He built a model out of clay and shaped it with his thumb. He made the man a lovely plate with 3 teeth in a row and bars of gold to hold them straight. Then said, "They'll never show." "Go forth," the dentist told the man, "as proud as you can be. Those teeth are perfect. No one can tell they were bought from me. Why, I, by whom the work was wrought, the truth had never known. Were you a stranger, I'd have thought those teeth were all your own." While going out, he bumped a miss. "Excuse me, please," he said. The lady smiled to hear him hiss. His cheeks went flaming red. He met a friend up in the street who joined him for a walk and said, "Let's go where we can eat and have a quiet talk." "I'd rather walk," the man exclaimed. "Let's stay upon the street. For with you I should be ashamed some solid food to eat." "New teeth?" the friend remarked. And lo, the troubled man said, "Yes. My dentist swore you'd never know. However did you guess?"
Keep smiling at trouble, for trouble's a bubble, and bubbles will soon go away. With never a sadness and nothing but gladness, we'd weary of life in a day. Be like the violets that doze 'neath the chill wintry snows. They bravely wait for the May. So keep smiling at trouble, or trouble's a bubble, and bubbles will soon go away.
Breakfast certainly is one of the most important meals of the day. And on these frosty mornings, it's essential that those youngsters off for school and Dad ready for a long day's work start the day well fortified with a hearty, energizing meal. Hot cereal, crisp bacon, soft-boiled eggs, and especially important, piping hot toast with plenty of good, fresh butter, because butter is one of the richest natural sources of vitamin A, And bread or toast is marvelous energy food. So make sure that Dad and the children, too, eat plenty of fresh buttered toast. And you can be sure of one thing. Breakfast toast will taste oh so much better if you use Land O'Lakes butter, churned from sweet, not sour cream. Why, as this butter melts, there's never any sharp, strong taste, only the country fresh flavor of rich, sweet cream. Just watch those extra slices disappear. So don't forget, for fresher, finer flavor, ask your grocer for Land O'Lakes sweet cream butter. And once you try it, you'll use it always.
You had a dream, well, I had one too. I know mine's best 'cause it was of you. Come, sweetheart, tell me, now is the time. You tell me your dream, and I'll tell you mine.
The top executive of one of the big factories in Detroit was unexpectedly called to Washington some years ago. And he was obliged to turn over a very important business matter to a young and bright but timid clerk that was in his office. He said, "You take care of this for me tomorrow." And the young fellow got frightened and said, "What will I do in this case and that case or that case?" And the executive turned on him and said, "Well, now, listen, you have legs, hands, pair of ears, pair of eyes, and a head." "Yes, sir." "Use them," he says. "That's all I'd have to use if I were here." And I've thought of it many, many times since, and I wish I could get every young fellow just starting out to believe this next bit that I'm going to do. Figure it out for yourself, my lad. You've all that the greatest of men have had: 2 arms, 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 eyes, and a brain to use if you would be wise. With this equipment they all began, so start for the top and say, "I can." Look them over, the wise and great. They take their food from a common plate, and similar knives and forks they use. With similar laces they tie their shoes. The world considers them brave and smart, but you've all they had when they made their start. You can triumph and come to skill. You can be great if you only will. You're well equipped for what fight you choose. You have legs and arms and a brain to use, and the man who has written great deeds to do began his life with no more than you. You are the handicap you must face. You are the one who must choose your place. You must say where you want to go, how much you will study the truth to know. God has equipped you for life, but He lets you decide what you want to be. Courage must come from the soul within. The man must furnish the will to win. So figure it out for yourself, my lad. You were born with all that the great have had. With your equipment they all began. Get hold of yourself and say, "I can."
From the land of the sky, blue water.
You have been listening to the poems of Edgar A. Guest and the songs of Eddie Howard. And remember, discriminating housewives always prefer the extra freshness, extra flavor goodness of Land O'Lakes sweet cream butter. You'll like it too. This is Vincent Pelletier speaking.
From the land of the sky, blue water.
Hit Parade. The top tunes all over America as determined by Your Hit Parade survey, which checks the best sellers in sheet music and phonograph records, the songs most heard on the air, and the songs most played on the automatic coin machines. An accurate, authentic tabulation of America's taste in popular music. Your Hit Parade.
I'm Henry Chap with a pocketful of nickels for the Hit Parade Jukebox. Let's count them down. This week we have 3 songs leaving the chart, which means a lot of chart movement once again this week. Those songs leaving the chart are Georgia on My Mind by Billie Holiday, which was number 9 last week. You Walk by the Eddie Dushan Orchestra, which was number 6 last week. And I Hear a Rhapsody by the Charlie Barnett Orchestra, which was number 4 last week and number 1 2 weeks ago. Let's hear those 3 records now.
The whole day through, just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. Georgia, Georgia, a song of you comes as sweet and clear as moonlight through the pines. Other arms reach out to me, other eyes smile tenderly. Still in peaceful dreams I see the road leads back to you. Georgia, Georgia, no peace I find. Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind. To me, all the eyes smile tenderly. Still in peaceful dreams I see the road leads back to you. Georgia, Georgia, no peace I find.
enchanting as a dream. You walk by and dim the sunlight's gleam. You speak words and shame the birds that sing. Your smile is softer than the touch of spring. You walk by and children pause at play. You walk by, December seems like May. Heaven is right here and above when you walk by, my love. And when I hear you call so softly to me, I don't hear a call at all. I hear a rhapsody. And when your sparkling eyes are smiling at me, then soft through the starlit skies, I hear a rhapsody. My days are so blue when you're away. My heart longs for you, so won't you stay? My darling, hold me tight and whisper to me. Then soft through a starry night, I'll hear a rhapsody.
Our number 10 song drops all the way from number 5 last week. Here is Perfidia by the Xavier Cugat Orchestra. Debuting at number 9 this week is an orchestra that has 2 songs now in the top 10. Here is the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra with Frank Sinatra and the Pied Pipers on the vocals and Do I Worry?
Stepping out, do I worry? 'Cause you've got me in doubt. Though your kisses aren't right, do I give a bag of beans? Do I stay home every night and read my magazines? Am I frantic 'cause we've lost the spark? Is there panic when it starts turning dark? And when evening shadows creep, do I lose any sleep over you? Do I worry? You can bet your life I do. Do I stay home every night and read my magazines? Am I frantic 'cause we've lost the spark? Is there panic when it starts turning dark? And when evening shadows creep, do I lose any sleep over you? Do I worry? You can bet your life I do.
Our second debut song comes in at number 8. It's by the band leader that was the former Artie Shaw tenor sax player, and he took over Shaw's orchestra when Shaw walked off the bandstand, quitting his own band. Here is the Tony Pastor Orchestra with vocal refrain by Linda Keene, John McAfee, Tony Pastor himself, and Dorsey Anderson, and number 10, Lullaby Lane, a nice bouncy little tune.
Wasn't it a lucky thing that we got caught in the rain
and found ourselves on the doorstep of number 10 Lullaby Lane?
And wasn't it a lucky thing
the man came out to explain that we were just the right people
for number 10 Lullaby Lane?
He told us we could move right in if we would sign the lease.
But when we said we weren't wed,
he said he was also the justice of the peace.
So if you're in the neighborhood
and you get caught in the rain,
you'll find us waiting to greet you
at number 10 Lullaby Lane. Look, honey, isn't that a cute little house?
I'll say it is. Say, I wonder if anybody's bought it yet.
Well, let's go and ask the caretaker.
All right.
Pardon me, sir. Is this house sold?
No, ma'am, it isn't. Won't you step inside? It's just waiting for a happy groom and bride.
Well, we're not married. I haven't even asked her.
Well, step right in. I'm the pastor. So if you're in the neighborhood
and you get caught in the rain,
you'll find us waiting to greet you.
Number 10 Lullaby Lane.
Dropping from number 3 last week to number 7, here is the Gene Krupa Orchestra with Howard Delaney on the vocals, Getting High on That Windy Hill.
High on a windy hill, I feel my heart stand still. Oh, I
I can hear you calling my name. Into a misty blue I go in search of you. There in the shadows calling in vain. Why are you just beyond me? When will I see your face? Why do you just elude me and leave me this lonely space into eternity? Your love will beckon me. I can't forget your voice that calls my name. I can't forget your voice that calls my name.
Moving up to number 6 from number 8 is Tommy Dorsey's second song on the chart this week. Frank Sinatra and the Pied Pipers sing it. I think that young man Frank is going places, by the way. The title is something that I say to myself when I flex in the mirror and rub my fingers through my hair every morning. Oh, look at me now.
Not the guy who cared about love, and I'm not the guy who cared about fortunes and such. Never cared much.
Oh, look at you now.
I never knew the technique of kissing. I never knew the thrill I could get from your touch. Never knew much.
Oh, look at you now. You're a new man, better than Casanova at his best.
With a new heart, a brand new start, I'm so proud I'm busting my vest.
So you're the guy who turned out a lover.
Yes, I'm the guy who laughed at those blue diamond rings. One of those things.
But look at you now.
He's not the guy who cared about love, and he's not the guy who cared about fortunes and such. Cared about much, but look at him now.
I'm a lover.
He never knew the technique of kissing. He never knew the thrill he could get from her touch. Never knew much, but look at him now.
Now really come on.
He's a new man, better than
Casanova at his best rider.
with a new start, a brand new heart.
He's so proud he's busting his vest. So he's the guy who turned out a lover. So he's the guy who laughed at those blue diamond rings. One of those things.
But look at me now.
He's a new man, better than Casanova at his best. He's got some new jive and it's really fine.
Why, I'm so proud I'm busting my vest.
He's a lover. Yes, we know he's a lover. Yes.
I laughed at those blue diamond rings. Just one of those things.
But look at him now.
Jack, I'm ready.
Look at him now.
And now it's time for our flashback. Tonight we are going back to the autumn of 1926. Where were you? This song was number one for 5 weeks. Here is the last of the Red Hot Mamas, Sophie Tucker, with her signature tune with Ted Lewis's orchestra, and Some of These Days.
You're gonna be so lonely. You'll miss my hugging. You're gonna miss my kissing. You're gonna miss me, honey, when I'm far away. I feel so lonely for you only. 'Cause you know, honey, you've always had your way. And when you leave me, you know it's gonna grieve me. Gonna miss your big fat mama, your mama, some of these days. Some of these days, you miss me, honey. Some of these days, you're gonna be so lonely. You'll miss my hugging. You're gonna miss my kissing. Oh, you're gonna miss me, honey, when I'm far away. I feel so lonely for you only. 'Cause you know, honey, you've always had your way. And when you leave me, you know it's gonna grieve me. Gonna miss your big fat mama, your mama, some of these days.
Well, it seems our number 5 song had its day in the sun. It was number 1 last week, only for 1 week. It's that novelty song that asks who. It's by Al Donahue and the orchestra with Dee Keating on the vocals and that wise old owl.
never thought you'd say goodbye. That old bird must have known that tonight he and I would be under the moon alone. Maybe I'll find a new love, that's what I should do. But the wise old owl in the old oak tree says hoo, hoo, hoo.
Our number 4 song is taking a roller coaster ride. It was number 10 last week and was number 3 2 weeks ago. Its title is fitting to what it is doing on the charts. It's by the late Hal Kemp and his orchestra with Bob Allen on the vocals, and it all comes back to me now.
Does my heart wander aimlessly the whole night through? It all comes back to me now. A starry summer sky, a laughing you and I alone. It all comes back to me now. A sea of midnight blue, your face uplifted to my own. We called it a thrill of the moment and blamed the moon up above. We didn't know what the glow meant. We never dreamed it might be love. It all comes back to me now. The love I threw away, and now each lonely night I pray that it will all come back to me someday.
Coming in at number 3 this week is a song that did not chart last week, but it did chart for 1 week at number 9 on April 5th. I actually thought it was going to be a one and done. Here is Una Mae Carlisle, and she is Walking by the River. Hopefully she doesn't fall in.
There's dew up on the ground and not a soul in sight. I'm walking by the river 'cause I'm meeting someone there tonight. I hear a distant sound. I see a far-off light. 'cause I'm meeting someone there tonight. Murmuring waters say there's no time to delay. Hurry on your way, my friend. If you don't get there soon, there may not be a moon to guide you to that happy end. My heart is riding high. My blues have taken flight, and I'm walking by the river 'cause I'm meeting someone there tonight. There's no time to delay, so hurry on your way, my friend. If you don't get there soon, there may not be a moon to guide you to that happy end. My heart is riding high. My blues have taken flight, and I'm walking by the river 'cause I'm meeting someone there tonight.
Another song taking a roller coaster ride this week is our runner-up song, number 2. It was number 7 last week and number 2 2 weeks ago. Its title is also fitting to what it is doing on the chart. Here is the Benny Goodman Orchestra with Louise Tobin singing it, and there'll be some changes made. If you haven't already guessed it, our new number one song was number 2 last week. It is by the Jimmy Dorsey Orchestra and features Bob Eberly and Helen O'Connell on the vocals. It's Amapola. Ooh, pretty little poppy.
A boy found a dream upon a distant shore. A maid with a way of whispering, "Si, senor." Each night, while guitars would softly play, the tune seemed to dance round the words that he'd say. Amapola, my pretty little poppy, you're like that lovely flower, so sweet and heavenly. Since I found you, my heart is wrapped around you, and loving you it seems to be a rhapsody. Amapola, the pretty little poppy, must copy its endearing charms from you. Amapola, Amapola, how I long to hear you say, I love you.
Amapola, my pretty little poppy, you're like that lovely flower, so sweet and heavenly. Since I found you, my heart is wrapped around you, and loving you it seems to be a rhapsody. Amapola, the pretty little poppy, must copy its endearing charms from you. Amapola, Amapola, how I long to hear you say, I love you.
And that is the Your Hit Parade Jukebox Countdown for the past week, April 26th, 1941. I'm Henry Chapp, your host. So long for a while.
So long for a while. That's all the songs for a while. So long to your hit parade and the tunes that you pick to be played. So
Before I tell you what we're going to listen to tomorrow night, let me give you a couple quick reminders. Expand that description section and you will see links to PayPal and GoFundMe, and you can donate to the channel that way. This channel does not qualify for YouTube monetization because of all the content that we features that come from third parties. Music, movies, old-time radio. And very once in a while, a great while, we might even throw a television program in there. I've been debating on whether redoing the Christmas television shows once again. Consider donating to the channel. I really would appreciate it. Also, if you enjoy this content, please subscribe and click on that bell icon to get notifications. Let me tell you what we have coming up tomorrow, April 27th, 1941. Also, well, first off, before I tell you what we have coming up tomorrow, don't forget to stay tuned to this channel for 12 hours of Christmas programs covering the years 1940 to 1944, Christmas in wartime. All right, let me tell you what we have coming up for April 27th, 1941. Well, we're going to start off with the news of the world. Then we're going to have the Free Company, Great Plays, an address by Winston Churchill, the Jack Benny program, the Columbia Workshop, and the Holy Name program. Now you will notice the emissions of the Shadow and the Screen Guild Theater. Both of those programs have went off the air for the summer. So we will not have any of those for a good while, until October or so. It's always a shame when that happens. It almost wants to make me cry. But real men in 1941 don't cry, right? Anyway, let's turn off that old tube radio. That's our time machine. My name is Henry Chop, your host. Good night. God bless.
This changing world, this changing scene, where is it taking us? What does it mean? As long as we're certain of each other, we know we don't have to be afraid. These changing times we rise above. We have no time for them. We have our love, and love is the only thing that still remains the same through all this changing world.
Good morning, Bill Lynch with the CBS World News Roundup. In Venice, the world's major industrial democracies have summed up their 13th Economic Summit with a patchwork communique. Doug Poling reports.
Italian Prime Minister Fanfani was given the task of concluding this 13th Annual Economic Summit by reading the final communique. It's a statement of lofty goals for the 7 trading partners aimed at avoiding a global recession and sustaining economic growth. The statement says the 7 will meet regularly to review their economic performances. To help them do this, they've come up with a package of economic indicators, including rates of inflation, domestic demand, and exchange rates. All this, the statement says, should help stabilize the dollar. The leaders also agreed on a 6-point plan aimed at reducing surpluses of agricultural goods and removing national barriers to trade. On the problem of third world debt, the 7 mentioned the possibility of cutting the interest rates on the loans to the poorest African countries. The 7 also called for increased cooperation to fight AIDS, terming the disease one of the biggest potential health problems in the world. And they said they'll encourage efforts to fight environmental problems, including ozone depletion, acid rain, and hazardous substances. President Reagan seemed pleased with the outcome. He said of these summits, "It's my experience they go better than the people covering them think." Doug Poling, CBS News, Venice.
Unimpressed by economic pledges coming out of Venice, currency dealers are selling dollars today. The dollar's down against all major currencies. Gold is up over $3 in London, where the morning fixing was $456.65 an ounce. And on Wall Street so far, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 3 3/4 points at 2356.49. Big board volume 26,280,000 shares. Our time 2 minutes past 7.
If you're looking for a true family car, we invite you to take a look at the Nissan Stanza GXE. Notice how the Nissan Stanza sits more like a luxury sedan. Wide, confident, solid. Nissan Stanza is built for family comfort. It seats 5 with plenty of room for 3 in the back and a big roomy trunk for those long trips. And Nissan Stanza's got all the power assist you want. From power windows to door locks, even a power sunroof is available. And AM, FM cassette stereo to keep you company. Under the hood, a 2-liter multi-port fuel-injected engine, along with power steering and brakes. As for price, you're looking at no more, maybe less than comparable cars. So look in on your Nissan dealer and take a look at Nissan Stanza. It could be love at first sight.
This is the news station, KNX.
In some of South Korea's worst political violence in years, thousands of anti-government demonstrators today clashed with riot police in Seoul. Trouble is also reported in other cities as the ruling political party met under heavy guard to endorse ex-General Roh Tae-woo as President Chun Doo-hwan's hand-picked successor. Richard Wagner is in Seoul.
The opposition called for a massive rally in Seoul today to protest Roh's selection and the murder of a student protester. But the government said such a demonstration would be illegal and would not be permitted. The authorities put some 60,000 riot police on the streets of Korea today, 20,000 of them in Seoul alone. And both sides were as good as their word. The opposition did try to mount a rally, and the government did not permit it. When marching students reached the center of the city, they were dispersed by police firing tear gas. Today's crackdown is indicative of Korea's place on the road to democracy. Under some conditions, the government will tolerate limited dissent. But when it decides enough is enough, it has the muscle to make that decision stick. Richard Wagner, CBS News, Seoul.
In the United Kingdom, voters who haven't done so already have just a few hours to decide how they'll mark their ballots. Anthony Mason has our Election Eve update.
Bidding to become Britain's first prime minister in 100 years to serve 3 consecutive terms, Margaret Thatcher last night delivered the final speech of her campaign.
We are a lion-hearted nation, ready to confront the 21st century and reach out for greatness again.
But Mrs. Thatcher has been given a surprisingly tough fight by the leader of the Labour Party.
The next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Neil Kinnock!
Kinnock says the Thatcher administration has favored the rich, forgotten the poor, and left 3 million unemployed.
They treat the young with contempt. They treat the old with neglect. They treat the average with arrogance.
Kinnock hired Hugh Hudson, Academy Award-winning director of Chariots of Fire, to film his campaign commercials and give him a presidential image. For Mrs. Thatcher, that comes with the job. But she left the campaign trail briefly to attend the economic summit and take the prized place next to President Reagan in the photo sessions. In Britain, where you can bet on anything that moves, even politicians, at least one betting house is so certain of a Thatcher victory, they've closed the book on a Conservative win. Anthony Mason, CBS News, London.
In the latest move in their tit-for-tat exchange of diplomatic sanctions, Britain said today it's ordering Iran to reduce the size of its embassy in London. This follows the expulsion of 5 British diplomats from Tehran. More than 1 million Polish Catholics gathered in Tarnów today to hear Pope John Paul celebrate Mass and beatify a 16-year-old peasant girl killed in World War I while fighting off a sexual assault by a Russian soldier. As Ronnie Hess reports, the Pope also addressed the political and economic aspirations of rural Poles.
The crowd expected a homily with an agricultural theme. What they got was a strong political message from Pope John Paul. In this predominantly farming region, the pontiff stated rural Poland is going through a complex economic and moral crisis. He called farmers an element of permanence and stability. Then, referring to 1981 agreements between the government and rural solidarity, the Pope, heard through a translator, called for their implementation plus government aid.
May Polish agriculture emerge from the many threats and cease to be condemned merely to the struggle for existence.
If political analysts here had not expected such a statement, farmers were not surprised. This woman, speaking through an interpreter, said the Pope gave voice to her thoughts.
Przeżywam to po prostu wszystko na co dzień.
I experience all these problems in daily life because I'm a farmer.
She endorsed what she believes is the Pope's call for greater but equal cooperation. It is what Poland, eager for prosperity, she said, needs now. Ronnie has CBS News, Tarnoff.
Our time, 7 minutes past 7.
Each year, many of you must face a decision of critical importance to your family. One mistake, one wrong move, and you could be in the doghouse for years. The decision, how to choose the right Hawaii vacation. At American Express Hawaii Vacations, we believe planning your trip should be a happy experience. We offer you a wide selection of go any-day vacations that include round-trip airfare, rental car, and more. Choose from fine hotels or spacious condominiums. It's up to you. No matter what your budget, you'll find American Express quality and value in every vacation package we sell. Choose an American Express Hawaii vacation and find a piece of paradise and peace of mind.
To reserve your Hawaii vacation, call any one of the American Express travel agencies listed in the Yellow Pages. Be sure to call now, as space is limited.
A Justice Department official this morning confirmed an unprecedented civil lawsuit is in the works designed to free the giant Teamsters Union of alleged organized crime ties and put it in the hands of court-appointed trustees. The Los Angeles Times had originally reported today the government is seeking the removal of President Jackie Presser and the other 20 executive board members. Some remarkable new disclosures are promised when Phase 2 of the Iran-Contra hearings begin June 23rd. The committees will concentrate on the arms for hostages dealings with Iran. The first 6 weeks of hearings focused on the private aid network for Contra rebels in Nicaragua and wrapped up yesterday with the testimony of witness number 18, Fawn Hall, former secretary to Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North. More from Deborah Potter.
The first phase of the Iran-Contra hearings highlighted a number of themes that run through the entire affair. Number one, said House Committee Chairman Lee Hamilton, the need for openness.
Our government cannot function cloaked in secrecy. It cannot function unless officials tell the truth.
Second, according to Senator Warren Rudman, the danger of using private citizens to carry out foreign policy.
The corrupting and corrosive influence it's had on government, the private individuals who are working in it, the attempt to have a covert policy without support of the American people.
One central question is still unanswered. Did President Reagan know about the possibly illegal diversion of profits from the Iran arms sales to the Contras? It's an issue that won't be resolved, at least until Oliver North and John Poindexter tell their stories next month. Deborah Potter, CBS News on Capitol Hill.
The Washington Post reports today Attorney Thomas Green, who was present when Fawn Hall removed classified documents from White House offices last November, has refused to testify before a federal grand jury. 10 past the hour.